What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Ponovic, who is going to be on Windup, versus Young Puds, who is going to be on Gigavise, one of the decks that they are obviously known for. And the last time you guys had seen a Gigavise replay on this channel, you guys really enjoyed it, so I figured I would show another one. What I will say is I did see this one live, so I kind of know how this match goes, but there's definitely a few talking points that I wanted to point out along the way. But anyways, let's get into it. It looks like they already did the rock, paper, scissors, and Ponovic did win the rock, paper, scissors, so they will be going first. Opening hands, we see Compulse, Wind-Up Factory, Wind-Up Rat, Dimensional Prison, Pot of Duality, and on the other side we see Mark of the Rose, Copy Plant, Hidden Armory, Soul Charge, and Miracle Fertilizer. And here Ponovic will get to draw for turn, getting a copy of Sanctum. Next they're going to go Duality, revealing a copy of Moral Tack, Beagle Tack, and Shark, which they're going to take the Shark here, which is good because they didn't have a way to trigger the Factory elsewise. So here they're going to normal summon the Shark and then activate Factory. I think just for safe measures, a lot of times it's better to activate the Factory first, because summoning the Shark and showing that you don't have, say, another Shark in hand as an extender, because Shark has the ability that when a wind-up monsters is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. So by playing the Shark right away, it shows you don't have another Shark potentially as an extender. I know sometimes the wind-up deck does play things like Instant Fusion, so, you know, that is kind of a thing, but here I think it would have been better, just a small little thing, to activate the Factory first, just because it potentially could make your opponent early drop a Max C or something if they think something's going to happen here, or just a handful of other things. But here they are normal summoning that Shark, and next they're using the ability to decrease its level, and then from there the Factory will activate, adding a copy of Magician. After that, they are going to set 3 back row and pass it over to Young Puds, who gets a copy of Mathematician, which is very strong for them here. They're going to normal summon it and use the ability to send Lone Fire and then go Battle Phase, trying to crash just so that, you know, they could get a draw here, but that is met with the Dimensional Prison, so it will get banished. Then back over to Ponovic, who gets a copy of Artifact Sanctum. They're going to normal summon Magician and use Shark. Shark is one of the few ones that says once per turn you can activate one of these effects, rather than a lot of the other windups. For example, Magician, that says it can only be used once while face up on the field, so they are able to activate it here. Next, Magician will then trigger, which can then special summon a windup from deck in defense position, and Factory will also trigger to add one. So here they're going to add a copy of Shark, special the Rat, and then from there, Shark can trigger to special summon because a windup was special summoned. Next, they're going to overlay the 2 4s for a copy of Photon Papler Operative. Use the effect, which says that once per turn, detach an Xyz material from this card, target a defense position monster on the field, change it to face up attack position, and if you do, it loses 600 attack. So here they're doing that to switch the Rat to attack, so then it can use its revive effect to bring a card back. So here, yep, the Rat is going to switch to attack, use the effect, bring back the Shark. I think they misclicked there. After that, it looks like they were using the Shark, or maybe that was the one they had already done, to be level 3, and then they can go for Invoker here. Next, they're going to detach from Invoker to summon Wind-Up Warrior. After that, they're going to use the other Shark to increase the level, use the Warrior to increase level, and go for Durendal. This I thought was kind of weird, because, you know, obviously this isn't turn 1, so going for Durendal is a little more defensive. Usually the wind-up deck plays Shark Fortress, which could allow them to attack twice, and it also has 2400 attack, so it would be 24 is 48, plus this 21 would be 69, and then this would be over game with the Invoker attacking, but instead they went for Durendal. And what I'll say is that kind of, you know, it's not the best case scenario. Maybe, again, they forgot, but they do end up, after this, going to battle phase. So maybe they're just not on the carrier, which is a little interesting. Again, usually they do play it just because it's their OTK tool. After that, they are going to go main phase 2 and go downward over the copy of MX Saber Invoker. And after that, they're going to set the Sanctum and pass it over to Young Puds, who gets a copy of Upstart Goblin. Now from here, Young Puds has a lot of different options they can go for, and seeing that they have Fertilizer, Soul Charge, and Mark of the Rose, it really means that they do have a lot of options they can go for if they choose not to go for Battle Phase, but at the same time, you also have to keep in mind that Ponavik here does have a lot of reactive back row, so that is something very important to keep in mind. But anyways, here Young Puds is going to activate Upstart Goblin, drawing into another Hidden Armory. Next, they're going to use Mark of the Rose that says activate this card by banishing one plant monster from your graveyard, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, equip it to this, equip this card to it, my bad, and then basically you take control of it, and then during the end phase it goes back to the opponent, and it kind of keeps flip-flopping back. So here they are going to banish the Lone Fire and take the Durendal. Here Ponavik tries to activate the Durendal, but keep in mind Durendal can only be used on normal Speller traps, so they won't be able to actually activate that here, which is a really good counter. And so yeah, here they are going to take the Durendal. After that, they're going to activate Hidden Armory, which sends the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and then you add an equipped spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand, but then you can't normal summon or set the turn you activate it. So here they're going to get a copy of DDR. After that, they're going to activate it, discarding Copy Plant to special summon back the copy of Lone Fire. From here, they're going to, Ponavik's going to activate the Sanctum, but that is going to get its effects switched to popping one of their back row. Funny enough, if they had wanted to, they could pop the Mark of the Rose and get back the Durendal. But at the same time, if they pop the DDR, then they're going to destroy the copy of Lone Fire via DDR says, when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. So they're going to choose to pop the DDR here. And so the Lone Fire gets destroyed. After that, Miracle Fertilizer is activated because, you know, they can't normal summon or set this turn anyways. So they're going to go for the Lone Fire. Here, Compulse is going to be activated, bouncing the Lone Fire. And after that, another Hidden Armory is going to activate. This card is not once per turn. They're going to hit a Upstart Goblin and be able to add back the copy of DDR, which is good because it then will get the Lone Fire back into graveyard, especially because, you know, that Mathematician was banished or not. If not, this wouldn't be able to happen. But here they can discard the Lone Fire and summon back the Mathematician. After that, they say it's good. They're taking some time to think. They're going to activate Soul Charge. And now keep in mind, they are very low on life now. They only had 1900, so they can only bring back one monster here. Obviously going to be the Lone Fire, which they're going to summon. Next, they're going to use Lone Fire effect and summon another Lone Fire, use the Lone Fire again, just kind of thinning the deck and getting those Lone Fires into rotation, and ending off with a Dandelion, which is really good because now they have 2 Earths, and they can go for Malaya the Trees, detaching the Dandelion to summon back the Lone Fire from graveyard, and getting 2 tokens via Dandelion. Next, they can use Lone Fire to tribute one of the tokens and summon a Spore from deck. Next, they are going to Synchro Summon with one of the tokens and Spore going into a Formula Synchron to then draw a card, getting a copy of Royal Decree. That might have been good, you know, the turn prior, but still getting it here is all right. After that, they're going to use Spore, banishing the Lone Fire to summon the Spore, which is now a level 4 because they banished the level 3. After that, they're going to Synchro for a 7, going for Power Tool Dragon, using the effect revealing DDR, Supervise, and Mark of the Rose. Here, getting another copy of DDR, which is good because they do have the other Lone Fire banished now. That was a little risky because, you know, obviously if they didn't get, if they got like the Supervise, that might have been a little dead here, or even the other Mark of the Rose might have been dead because in the end phase they'd have to give it back or something. So getting the DDR was actually like best case scenario for them here. They're going to activate it, discarding the Decree and summoning back the Lone Fire, using the Lone Fire and getting a copy of Gigaplant here, which they're then going to Synchro for an 8, going for Scrap Dragon, using Scrap Dragon to pop the Durendal and the Paplar Operative, because if they had just ended there, the Paplar Operative could have switched, you know, a monster to attack, and it would have lost some attack and they could just swing over for game. But here they still have Downward, which does do piercing damage. So if they can't out it, this can just run over the melee. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but they would lose right there. But anyways, here It looks like they did realize that the downer does have piercing and there's nothing they can do, so they do scoop it up, but that was a very good example, in my opinion, of just how far that this Gigavise deck can, like, extend out and really keep going. So I thought that was kind of the main reason I wanted to show this off, was for that, is just this deck is extremely explosive, especially when it's not getting hit with things like the Maxis or Crows. And again, a lot of you guys really enjoyed the Gigavise thing. But anyways, moving into game number 2, we see Ponavik has Wind Up Shark, Sanctum, Wind Up Warrior, Compulse, and Rabbit. And on the other side, we see Supervise, Spell Striker, Miracle Fertilizer, Supervise, and Soul Charge. So Young Putz is going to need something here to make this hand really playable. Here, drawing a copy of Spore, which unfortunately isn't too good in this exact situation. Ponavik's going to draw for turn, and getting a copy of Magician kind of shows you how this game might go. Given, again, Shark plus Magician, even into Hat format where a lot of cards are hit for the wind-up deck, it really does show the power, and especially backed up with something like Sanctum and Compulse, it's very strong. So here, Magician is going to be summoned, chaining the copy of Shark to special summon. Magician will then trigger. Interesting here, again, to go for the Rabbit in defense, whereas you could have almost done, you know, sort of similar to the last play, though a lot of times the wind-up deck only plays one warrior, and also not having access to another Shark or Factory. This is a little more defensive, and that's probably why we're seeing this here. But after that, they're going to overlay the 2/4s for Dweller, which sometimes that's just the best option. Obviously, the Gigavise deck does have a handful of graveyard effects, but at the same time, there's not really the most good going for, like, turn 1 type of things. Obviously, this isn't turn 1, but if they know they can't win here, Dweller's just kind of the safe option. After that, it does have Shark attached, so it will gain some attack. They're just going to go Battle Phase and attack in for 22. After that, they're going to set the 2 back row back over to Young Putz, who now gets a copy of Mathematician, so they can kind of play here. They're going to summon Mathematician. Dweller's going to be activated. They're going to send the copy of Lonefire. Here, they're going to go Battle Phase and attack over the Wind-Up Rabbit, but Sanctum is going to be activated, summoning a copy of Moraltac. Moraltac will then pop the Magician here. Or not Magician, the Mathematician, my bad. And yeah, I mean, the Dweller kind of did put in a lot of work here, though at the same time, I guess, no, they didn't even have any spells they could really activate. Like, in that situation where they have the Mathematician here, what they might have wanted to do is maybe even just Soul Charge, trying to bring back the Lonefire. That may have, like, baited out the Sanctum or something, but then they'd have a spell, so then maybe they could go for, like, the Spell Striker. Obviously, they didn't know that the Compulse was there, but that was like an option to try to go for something. I don't exactly know what would have been the best option there, especially given they wouldn't be able to go to Battle Phase that turn. But I feel like just passing and leaving this completely open, you know, this deck, obviously you saw it can put up a lot of monsters, so I don't know, it felt a little off here just to pass, but obviously they didn't have the most gas going for them, especially after already committing to a normal summon, so the Fertilizer was kind of dead here anyways. Anyways, back to Ponavik, who gets a copy of Moraltac. Here, summoning Wind-Up Warrior, switching the Rabbit to attack. They also, I believe, use the Warrior to increase the level, but Warrior also gives a 600 attack boost. So it's going to go up, and here they're just going to swing in, and Ponavik does take that one, and as you see, Young Putz drew another card just to see what the top card was, and it was another Fertilizer, so the following turn, had they survived, might have been a little better because they'd have access to double Fertilizer. And obviously, at that point, Ponavik only had the copy of Compulse. Who knows what they would have gone into here? I guess another option could have been even just, you know, if they had made this a level 5, they could have then gone for some sort of 5 there. But anyways, yeah, again, it wasn't the greatest showing that game 2, but that game 1 I thought was really, really good, which is, again, why I wanted to show this off. But hopefully, you know, in the future, I can show off this Gigavise deck in a more winning fashion. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.